So in today's video, I want to show you how I'm able to run a music school with 2,000 students a week. It's crazy. Started with 30 students, 10 years later, 2,000 students and all sorts of other crazy stuff that we do. And so I'm going to show you how the heck we do it. Now I must apologize because the lighting in this room is really bad because I'm actually filming in our building's kitchen. And so this is something I'm going to show you that's in our kitchen because it's something we want people to see all the time and think about, and I'm going to break it down for you now. Okay, so the secret of building a really large music school is that you can't do it all on your own, okay? And so every single job that exists in our school, I had to do myself in one form or another along the way, okay? So I had to do everything. Now, so many of you will be running your own small schools or your private music teaching business at home, or maybe going door to door, or maybe you've got a little commercial space somewhere and you're doing everything. You feel like you're wearing 1,500 hats, and you probably are. And so the secret of building a big school, of course, is hiring the right help, but not only hiring them, building up team members, building up leaders, building up managers, building up people that carry the vision and the passion that you have for your teaching business as much as you do. And so I'm just going to show you like our team's, what we call our organizational chart. And so this is, I'll spin the camera around so you can see it, but this is the chart of all our team members at the moment, how it works out in terms of who's in charge of what and who reports to who and all that sort of stuff. And I'll break it down for you, but I'll just say first that this is something that's always evolving, right? So I'll probably do another video like this in 6 months and it'll have a whole bunch of changes. And so you're always changing, you're always adding things, and that's kind of fun as well. So building business is fun. You get to move people around, promote people, and add new jobs and add new projects and all that sort of stuff. So let me break down who we've got in our team, and as I go through these things, just think what sort of things you do that relate to these, and you'll see, oh man, you've got a whole person doing that one thing that I have to do every week. And that's kind of how it goes. You get bigger, you get to pass more things on, and you get to focus more on the things that you're the best at, things that you love the most, and you hire basically for your weaknesses. So all the things that you're not as good at, well, you hire people that are better at that 1, 2, 5 things, put them in place, hand it on and on it goes. So here we go, let's check it out. Cool. Alright, so up the top there it says Academy Owners, Goodtime Music Academy, that's our school's name. Johnny and Kate, so that's me and my wife Kate, who's amazingly beautiful and incredible. And so I like to keep that at the top because remember, hey, we are married, we own this together. And then next is me. I'm the Academy Director, okay? So ultimately, me and my wife, we own it, but I'm still under that group there. So that's something that just reminds me, work and personal are separate, blah blah blah. That's a separate video. Anyway, so we'll work our way down. So over here, executive assistant, so that's Mel. She keeps so much of my work life in order. She is incredible, and so she works full-time to keep me organized and filter as much as possible, so I'm just really working in my strength zones. And so next down we have, we'll go over to the left here, school program manager. So we work in about 35 schools a week, which has been something we've had to build up over time, but that's a really great little project there. And so under Shannon there is the schools program manager. She also oversees our human resources and payroll coordinator. So that's someone doing all our payroll, all our HR, human resources, so all the contracts and all the legal stuff, making sure we don't get sued. So she oversees her. And then she also oversees our curriculum development coordinator, Ryan, who is awesome. Crazy talented guy, super smart. And then she has her team of, we call them music bus tutors. We've got a whole bunch of music buses going into schools. And then there's, here, so we've got senior tutors and then, normal tutors working their way up to being seniors. So that's her there. And then over here we have Raywin. She's our administrative manager and health and safety officer. Boring. No. She'll hit me if she sees this. And she oversees two of the admin staff there, schools program administrator and accounts receivable assistant. This is something, this here, accounts receivable, that is basically the person that chases up unpaid bills and accounts and gets everyone loaded into direct debit, so we get to take the money out. They don't decide when they pay us, we decide, so things aren't late. So we have someone doing that. Private tuition, this is probably what most of you would do. You'd have someone doing, private tuition management. You're probably the manager of a few tutors, or you are the one tutor that you manage. So we have two people. Mike's our private tuition manager, and he has a coordinator who does all the administrative stuff. And so together they work as a team, and they have, we've got senior tutors, professional tutors, and intern tutors, we call them. So they're all paid tutors at different levels, different pricings and things. So that's our sort of private tuition strand there, our administrative strand, and our schools program strand. Over here we have Harry. Now Harry is one of the biggest legends here. He is in charge of so much stuff, and it's hard to even give him a title, so we just call him project manager. And so over here you'll see he oversees all holiday programs. He's got a few holiday program coordinators that he manages to pull off programs, honestly, for hundreds and hundreds of kids every quarter. Holiday programs, I know a lot of you in America call them like camps. We call them holiday programs. We have a concert team, a show team that goes into schools. So he oversees that team and makes sure that they're hitting targets and performing lots and getting lots of sales and things out of that. And then of course there's the show team, so there's the leader, and so everything you'll see there's a theme. In the show team is this person, but they are the leader, and so you're trying to make sure that you have someone, you don't want this person to have to meet with the 4 people in this team individually. You want them to just meet with one, and then they pass things on to this person, and so they are responsible for them and their actions and for the performance goals, and he is responsible for him and them, and then of course he is responsible to me. So I'm anything that goes down here, that's going down here in the show team level, I don't go directly to them. I talk to Harry and he would talk to them. Sorry, I'm moving the camera around too much there, but you see how that works. And so also Harry takes on maintenance coordinating. That was one of the craziest things, was that as we got bigger and bigger, we had to actually have a maintenance person, like a caretaker, working on site, because we got so many vehicles and a massive building and so much equipment, stuff breaks, and that was something that really sucked, having to actually put a budget line in for damages and repairs and maintenance, and then to actually have to hire someone. That role's probably 20-25 hours a week, doing all that sort of stuff and keeping everything working and even keeping the rubbish going out, the cleaners list done, all that sort of stuff. It's quite a big hit, but that's just the reality of a growing bigger business. What else we got here? Over here, this is my favourite team, the media and marketing team, because I love media and marketing, and we build lots of digital programs to sell around the country and the world. And so we've got 2 people, Ellie and Gabriel, and they oversee a whole bunch of different stuff. We've got an administrator who helps with all the hundreds and thousands of emails we get for those programs, and then we sell a whole lot of merchandise stuff digitally, as well as on site, and so that person helps with all that side of things as well. So you can see, if you step back a bit there, it's quite a large sort of team now. And so when you've got certain blocks like all these tutors, well, that probably represents 25 tutors there, and then over here there's, who knows, that's probably another 15 to 18 tutors. And then the last part that I haven't showed you yet is our Goodtime Foundation. So you'll see that there's no line going from me here over to here, so it breaks here because it's actually a separate entity. So we have over here, this is our business, so that's a limited liability company, Goodtime Music Academy Music School, and then over here it's Goodtime Music Academy, what we call the Goodtime Foundation. And so Here we have the Goodtime Foundation board. Okay, so you don't own a charitable trust. You set it up, but it's not something that you physically own. And so I'm not actually on the board. I'm the general manager for the foundation, and one day I'd like to be able to hand that on to someone else and just probably move myself to the board and just keep it all going. But we're not quite there yet, and that's why it'll keep growing. And so under me over here I have a whole bunch of youth development people. Rochelle, Nate, Harry does one role over here as well, and administration and funding coordinator. There's another funding assistant, and then over here we've got program assistant, and then down here we've got what we've called pre-turn volunteers. So a pre-turn is someone that's volunteering, and they can work their way up to being an intern tutor in our private team there. So that is these are the students here, the top students that end up mentoring all our underprivileged kids, these pre-turn volunteers. So currently at the moment there'll be 20 something of them. This year in 2019 we're going to try and build that up to about 35 to 40. We're pretty pumped about doing that. And then the last thing, LEAP interns here. These guys are our gap year interns, so they spend a whole year doing a volunteer-based internship, which I talk all about in our BAM Squad program, and they're on site 3 days a week, and so they get involved in all this sort of stuff, and they learn everything from performing to marketing to business to all sorts of other crazy things. And so there we go, you got the foundation side over there, and then all the business side over there. So that is how you're able to run, or how I'm able to run a school of 2,000 students a week. Now, I've got to admit, it goes up and down a bit and trends up, which is great, but it is a massive school. It's a massive operation. We have around 60 team members across that whole board. Some people have multiple roles, and basically that's the pattern. You know, people might hold 3 or 4 jobs, and then you work them up so they can drop one and train someone else, and keep dropping one, you know, every 6 months, every year, and you keep moving up. And so it means if you're the leader, you have to keep being cutting edge. You have to keep pushing and doing the things that you're the best at. You have to be able to release things, not just think you're the only one that can do everything. No one can do it better than me. You have to be able to hand things on and teach people, develop leaders, develop team members, and that is how you build a massive school. By having lots of people, because if I tried to teach 2,000 students in a week, I'd probably die, and I'm not ready for that yet. So there we go, that's behind the scenes what our sort of team looks like. And as I said, this evolves all the time. We have it in the staff room here. We often come out and you see people thinking about it because they're in charge of their own divisions, and they'll pitch me ideas about, oh, I really want another 15,000 to bring someone in part-time for this, and here's how I'll help earn that money in our division, and this is how I'll change things, and this is the person I'm thinking of. And so I try and teach the team to think organizationally. How do you grow something? Because the most important thing in growing a large school, and by large I mean 200, 300 students plus, the most important thing is that you don't just create leaders. So you don't just create someone that can go from being a music teacher to being able to manage a couple music teachers. The most important thing, where most people fail and don't get to this level, is you need to create a leader that creates more leaders. Okay, it's that simple. Like, you need to create someone that is such a good leader that they create leaders without you having to tell them to do so. That is the real secret. Okay. So as I went through this, you probably notice all those jobs are things that you do if you are teaching on your own. You're doing all the accounts, you're doing all the administrative tasks, you're doing all the teaching, you're doing the cleaning, you're doing the maintenance, you're doing the marketing, you're putting up the Facebook page, you're making the videos, you're organising the concerts, you're doing the promotion in any schools or school newsletters, or you're literally doing everything. Right? And so, man, I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore. And so if you would like help to learn how to build anything that's just a bit bigger than yourself and just teaching on your own. If you want to learn how to build a larger teaching practice, or even a big music school, buildamusicschool.com is definitely the place to get involved. Grab all our free resources first, and then consider joining the BAM squad, which is our Build a Music School community. And so that really is the elite sort of mastermind group, and it's very affordable to be a part of, to get access to literally everything that I've built and continue to build at my music school, and I just hand it on to you guys in a really clear formatted way so that you can follow it, grow your school, and just have a much more successful business that not only makes a lot more profit and money, but actually makes a lot more difference as well. And so you can see with my school, there's a whole foundation side, and I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't build a team that could help me make a bigger impact with people as well. So I'd love to show you all the tips and tricks and give you all the resources that will save you tens of thousands of dollars and cost you absolute peanuts. So check it out, buildamusicschool.com, and leave a comment, a question, hit the like button, and love to interact with you. So be blessed and take care.